Hello my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. I spoke about this very often because, let's face it, digestion, the food, what we put in our body is going to result with our health or problems. Cannot control my animal. Okay, so what is happening is that since new people are coming to watch the videos and come to site, they see a couple of videos and then questions pop out and same questions keep going on. One of them quite commonly asked is about Sibo, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. Now, this will be a short video because I have explained many times that depending on what we eat, we are creating environment in our gut, and according to that environment, we will have bacteria, fungus growing that help to break down the garbage that we put in, which does not break down by itself. So if we eat incorrectly, we put garbage in our body, we will have more janitors dealing with it. More garbage, more janitors. This is basically, everything is fractal. So you look in a bigger picture, you have overgrowth of plants, you have an abundant herbivore life. When there is abundant life of herbivores, you have abundant life of their predator, carnivores. So more of something you have, more of something else, depending on this, is going to be created. If there is not enough plants, you will have less herbivores. Less herbivores will have less carnivores. Nature, all demand supply, it all revolves about the same script. Ultimately, it all evolves around water, because where there is no water, there are no plants. Where there are no plants, there are no herbivores. Where there are no herbivores, there are no carnivores. And food is basically 60, 70%, 80% water. So when you eat incorrectly, you are going to have problem breaking down the food. So help comes in a form of the microflora, bacteria that help you digest. If you have the wrong food, you have the wrong microflora, and no amount of probiotics will make any difference, because probiotics, bacteria, multiply rapidly. Within 2 generations, they switch metabolism. So from one bacteria, you get completely a different one, because you have changed the ambient. Food have changed. We are being told, oh, you have overgrowth of bacteria, and this is why you have this inflammation, and this is why you have these pains, and this is why you have your digestive problems. Helicobacter pylori, oh yeah, this is why you have ulcer. Baloney. Okay, Helicobacter does not cause any problem, neither does any other bacteria. They eat the garbage. And they help us break it down. Now the problem is, if we are breaking down plants, cellulose is broken down, you get in touch with starches. We are lucky because we do not ferment things. Our stomach has small capacity, there is not enough room to load it up with something. So it kind of empties rapidly because we are not herbivores. We are basically omnivores, carnivores that eat fruits. And because of this, food doesn't linger in the stomach, and no time for fermentation. So if you eat plants, raw plants, you cannot break them down. As they go into intestinal tract, they start breaking down. But by the time glucose is released, it is too low for absorption, too low down in the intestinal tract. You are not absorbing anymore sugars. The absorption of nutrients, basically fats and amino acids, happens in the duodenum, upper part of the intestinal tract. Now, since we cannot break the stuff down, there will be bacteria growing. And more of that crap you put, the more nutrient it is for them, so they grow and you have more and more of them. But they are attacking the garbage food you are eating, they are not attacking your system. While breaking down the garbage food can cause toxic elements, toxic enzymes. Venom of snake doesn't kill you. It is the decomposition, the breakdown of your tissue that happens under its influence that produces the toxin that then harms you. So, when you eat incorrectly, you are going to be producing toxic elements. But still, you cannot say, okay, too much bacteria. Small amount of bacteria we need, it's healthy. Too much is bad. Well, if something is toxic, it's toxic in any level. And we do not need really this bacteria if we eat correctly. If you eat correctly, you eat a raw meat, raw fat, animal fat. Well, this is loaded with enzymes. It self-digests. The fat basically separates from glycerol and separates from protein into fatty acids. The protein breaks down into amino acids, and this is what you absorb. And you digest basically completely, perfectly. And small amount of food takes you a long way. But when you put carbohydrates, number one, you cannot digest them because they are always in film of cellulose. So unless you break the cellulose, which you do with cooking or processing, grinding, well, then you get in touch with starches, which then triggers genetic shift in your body. Body has to adjust to them. And this causes multiple problems. Not very visible, so we say, no, starches are good, you know. They're not good. From the moment we start eating starches, our lifespan came down from 600 plus to less than 200 years. Actually, the more we eat it, now it's below 100. So, it's all about starch. It's a plant food, not our food, because we cannot store it. So it's not available unless you eat. How can you have a vehicle, how can you have a car that you have to have plugged with a nozzle, gasoline nozzle, otherwise you can go only one block. So you need actually gas station in every block, so you can put some gasoline in your carburetor or injector pump, so it can run. You need storage. Well, we have no storage for glucose in our body, so how can the glucose be our main energy source? It's a stupidity. And the doctors cannot process this. Well, so when we eat incorrectly, we bring starches, we bring poisons from plants that they use to defend themselves with. You eat beans, you blow up, you stink, but it's good for heart. It's toxic. It's not good for anything. We have to clean our diet. So when you start eating correctly, you break down food properly. Now, if you eat meat, but you overcook it, well, when you cook the meat, at one point, it shrinks. Why? Because protein has coagulated. It unravels, lets off water. Without water, psh, now you are eating basically shoe leather. You cannot, your enzymes cannot penetrate it, and you have killed the meat's original enzymes, because meat in raw state digests itself by itself. Very easy to digest meat. And anybody who tells you, oh, red meat is hard to digest, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just repeating like parrots what is written by Rockefellers, fraudsters. It's not true. Unfortunately, all our education is about memorizing and repeating without thinking. So, when you start eating cooked meat, especially if you overcook it, steak a la carbone, well, this you cannot digest. So the only thing that can be done, that bacteria goes and breaks it apart. Now this is called putrefaction, and very often anaerobic bacteria is involved. So you go to the bathroom and you need gas mask. No? If you eat meat raw, red meat raw, you go to the bathroom and there's absolutely no foul odor. It's like you ate fruits. Try it. The best you can try it with eggs. Put 2-3 eggs, yolk and egg white. Mix them with a little bit of yogurt or milk. You can put some salt on it and drink it. And you will see, first, you will not feel heavy. You will feel like you didn't eat nothing, but actually you received a lot of energy. And you get energized. But then take 2 or 3 hard-boiled eggs where the protein from egg white has coagulated, so became hard white mass, because it protein released water, so it turns into white fiber. And now when you eat them, it's going to sit in your stomach like a cannonball, a heavy, bad feeling. When you go to the bathroom, you need gas mask. Sulfur will kill you, because bacteria starts breaking the stuff up, and bacteria will grow there rapidly. Now people have intolerance towards eggs, for example, because they are plant eaters. They have shifted their metabolism. So now they need some time to readjust the body again. You will only have allergies if you consume plants and if you do not take enough salt. If you don't have enough minerals, you are dehydrated. Meat eaters don't have allergies. This should tell you a lot. So, overgrowth. Number one, you should not have certain bacteria in your digestive system, but they are not going to cause you a problem. What causes you a problem is actually the bad food. Plants are full of toxins. They cause irritation, inflammations. We get hearts too. We dehydrate. We need to cleanse. We don't take salt. The typical vegan crap. Eat vegetables, but don't take salt. You dehydrate like a prune. You have problem with constipation. So you find the remedy. Take another vegetable that will inflame your colon, so this way there is no absorption. So you have now fixed the constipation problem. So you're poisoning yourself with double whammy. But we are not thinking, because we are taking for granted the science we are being preached through schools, TVs, and movies. And it's all Rockefeller garbage. Contrary to truth. All of it. Unfortunately, doctors' knowledge is based on it. Can't trust doctor. Never ever ask doctor for suggestion about diet. They have no clue, and what they know is contrary to truth. Scientifically, because studies have been done. All fake stuff. So, if you have a problem, if you have gastritis, and doctor tells you, you have Escherichia coli, or you have Helicobacter pylori, you are eating wrong food. You are not producing enough acid. When you produce little acid, you produce small amounts of sodium bicarbonate, not enough to protect the stomach from the acid that you have created. You burn holes in your stomach. Escherichia or Helicobacter pylori has nothing to do with this. It lives very often in larger quantities in your intestinal tract and doesn't cause any problem. But comes in the stomach, I found one, yeah, pop, that's it, antibiotic. Let's kill you more. So, doctors have no clue. We have no clue when we come out of medical school, unless we start learning the truth separately, which very few do. So, if you are being told that your problems with digestion are because you have Sibo, it's not true. You have a problem because you eat incorrectly and you don't hydrate correctly either. You need to consume minerals, you need to change your diet, grab self-healers protocol and heal yourself. Easy, simple. The cheapest possible treatment that tackles any chronic problem. Some chronic problems clear faster, some clear a little slower, but they will all clear up. No matter what bacteria you have, you change your diet, bacteria is going to shift. They multiply rapidly. Within 2 generations, they start adjusting to the new stuff. So within an hour, you are already starting to change the microflora in your system if you have changed diet. And if you have overgrowth, because you had plenty of the junk. And remember, the junk plus dehydration, your mucus, because it's a mucosal tissue, gets thicker, loaded with bacteria and a garbage food. We call it biofilm. Difficult to get out. It accumulates and actually makes narrower passage in your intestine. And these are the chronic problems. So if you go for colonics, you go multiple times, and you won't believe how much of this crap is coming out. You are unplugging yourself, but you don't have to take colonics. You should just start drinking more plasma and start clearing the natural way. It's just going to melt and go out. And correct your diet. Simple. Of course, there will be symptoms of cleansing, most commonly known under the name flu. Well, that's all right. As long as you know, okay, there's no virus causing them. Virus does not exist. Even viral breakdown, what some say that the garbage that comes out of the cell is a virus. By virus, we have been told it's a small organism that basically has only ribonucleic acid. Actually, yeah, just ribonucleic acid, single chain. And it needs another chain to reproduce itself, so it goes in a cell. So that's what we think of, programmed by Rockefellers. This is virus. So we should not be using the term virus describing a decay. It's a decay. It's a toxic decay made out of toxic tissue, breaking down through enzymes, especially when it's anaerobic. And this toxic decay is poisonous. And then you need bacteria to take care of it, because usually you have too much of it and your macrophage does not have the capacity to deal with that stuff. Things are contrary to what we are being told. So, remember, if you have a problem with digestion, change your diet and hydrate, cleanse. Have enough plasma so the body will not soak it all in. It will leave some. Keep your excrement pasty. If your stool is not pasty, if it's formed harder, you don't have enough plasma in the body. Not water, but the body doesn't hold water, holds plasma, ionized water, water with minerals. The best source for it is seawater or sea salt mixed with water, plasma. Okay? If something needs more clarification, let me know. Otherwise, pick up Self-Healer's Protocol and heal yourself. Thank you. Till next time. Love you all.